I say, here at Kajun Reseller, you give me an offer and I'll take it.
I say, this is Johnny's place where you can have it for no problem. I got the dollars.
Fixed income, no credit, back credit. Here at Kajun Roots Reseller, that's no problem.
Let them have it.
I've got my dollars and I sit in my best offer.
We say yes. See the special man. The easiest man on YouTube.
You got the dollars? We got the offer? Let them have it with no problem.
Hello, everyone, and welcome on this beautiful, bright, and early Monday morning. How's everybody doing? Hope everybody in the New England and areas that had gotten hit with this little hurricane disturbance this weekend made it all right. First in the chat today, of course, was Tom. Who is Tom Cruise? Good morning, Tom. Hello, and welcome, Castlevania Miss Mel. Hello. And Mr. Flippin' Goodies, Mike. Hello, good morning, and welcome. Miss Robin Renee, hello, Rescue and Resell. And I am on the Facebook side as well. Leo, how you doing, Miss Irene? Good to see you. Jigsaw Jen, hello, good morning, and welcome. Well, hello, Cha-Cha, the Junkin' Data Girl. How are you doing? Good to see you. Long time no see. Hope everything's going well. Nakoma Fines, how are you doing? Good morning, hello, and welcome. And also Glam's Closet. Hello, good morning, and welcome. How are you doing this morning? Also, Mr. Paul from Paul Antonelli. Hello, Paul. Good morning, and welcome. I want y'all to give a warm welcome to this person who's going to be the guest today. First time doing a live. Back to the reselling and YouTube. Here is, welcome, Sonny, the Las Vegas Thrifts. Good morning.
Good morning, everybody.
Somebody can put a name with the face. How are you doing, and what's going on in your neck of the woods?
My neck of the woods, I checked here in Las Vegas, is finally hit below 80, and it jumped down fell down to 68 degrees, which is very rare.
Ooh.
It feels really good, even though it's going to jump up to 100 degrees, but maybe getting up this early isn't so bad.
You get to enjoy it more. So while I get your name and everything, I'm going to put your links in the chat so that everybody can subscribe to you if they haven't checked out your channel. Give everybody a little bit of like an elevator type speech on who you are, what you do, and a little bit of that before we get into the actual question and answers.
All right. I think I have just like a little bit of awesomeness inside my genes. Started reselling back in 2016. We moved to Las Vegas from Hawaii, where I was stationed there for about 10 years. And the reason why I started reselling is because I didn't have a job. I did not have anything. I was a bum after I got out the military. And my wife was talking about how her coworkers started reselling. And I never heard of it before. So when I asked her what her coworker does, she said she does stuff on eBay. And I was like, but I buy stuff on eBay. She was like, yeah, well, you could sell stuff too. I was like, get the heck out of here. So I was like, where do you get stuff from? And she said, well, her friends said is that they would go to Savers, Goodwill, and thrift stores. And I was like, what's a thrift store? And what are these names that you're talking about? Because where I come from, back in Charlotte, Texas, very small town south of San Antonio. It's only a population of 1,000. It's so small, there's no towns connected to it. So everything's hand-me-downs. That's my kind of thrifting, is where it's yard sales, but it's not very good stuff. It's country stuff. Just oil field workers, coal mine workers, field workers, which I've done as well too. So as she told me on this little road trip here in Vegas, driving, I was like, "Where's a Goodwill at?" And it happened to be one right next to us across the street. So we went over there. I ended up finding a little rust troll for 69 cents, and it sold within a few days after figuring out how to do PayPal and set up eBay. It's kind of when you start things at first, it's a headache because it's all new and you're trying to figure it out. And it felt like forever, but this toy sold within a few days for around $23. With that $23, I found a Goodwill closer to where we're staying at in this apartment where we're in, and found about a dozen items, and they sold for a little over $1,000. And from there, it just kept going on and on and on. So I'm also prior military, went to Iraq 2 times. I just got finished with my job, almost hitting 4 years, ending in the 3rd position that I moved up to, and final one, which was an armed security at the Wynn Casino. So that's pretty much a little breakdown of what I've been doing all over this time.
All right, so if you haven't checked out Sonny's channel, you've probably seen him in chats. He's always been part of the community, always being in people's chats, talking and asking questions. If you haven't checked out his channel, it's at the top in the blue box. When you go to anyone's link in the chat, if you go to remember one thing, if you get there and the word subscribe is in red, that means you're not subscribed. Change it to gray. And then make sure you hit the notifications, because I've noticed that Sonny has started coming out with more videos since he's been back. And so we'll get into some more question and answers, but still definitely check out his channel. He's been a great part of the community. I think you're at 761 as of this morning on your sub count. Good morning, Greg. Greg, the land share kicker. Hello, good morning, and welcome. There you go.
It's good to be back. I see familiar names and happy to see a lot of new names. Yes. New names are a good thing inside the community. First of all, if you believe in the COVID, you are automatically into social distancing and have monitors in between us.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I enjoy. It's a lot different thrifting and reselling now. As I was talking to you earlier, it's just more comforting. You know, it's not so much of trying to juggle a job and reselling, because reselling is not just, it happens. You know, you got to manage your time from, are you doing it before work or after work? Do you have better photos with the daylight, natural light? Or are you trying to use ring lights and lights like this that at night, really, if you don't buy and invest in quality stuff, you know, you're going to struggle a little bit, but you make do with what you have and make the most of it until you can upgrade along the way.
Yeah. So what got you actually, I know it's been a while now. We had talked about this before the show. And I really didn't know much about it at that time. What got you to take, and I'm not saying nothing's bad about this, because some people do need to take breaks, and there's always for some certain reasons. What was the reason that you did take a break? And I noticed in your videos, I think it was like a year ago that you put out videos, and now you're really putting them out again. So what got you to take that break from doing YouTube?
So what had me take the break was first, being married is just me and my wife, and we have a little dog. And at the time, my mother-in-law was living with us. So we got her to give her own boot out to go with their son out in Twin Falls, Idaho. She'll be back soon, and I do miss her and love her. But I went from my job, I started as a regular floor security, and then I went to bike security, and then I promoted myself by going for armed security. And being armed security isn't like the other security positions. Now I was armed, and I was dealing with a lot more stressful people who are also armed, or homeless, or on drugs, or just entitled. You know, it's things you don't want to be involved in. So I think I just got tired of that and not reselling, because I always had the itch for reselling. And my wife would say, you know, you could do both. And I'm like, yeah, I could do one better though if I stuck to it. So that's where we're at now. It's where, you know, talking to my wife, it's like, you know, I'd rather be happy knowing that I don't have to worry about things that I was before. Granted, it is what I wanted and it is what I worked for, but it was just one of those things. When I got home, I was really just drained of people and not so much work.
Yeah.
You know, but I think that's the way it is. And unless you experience things and go through life, you know, just saying, what if I do it and see what happens, rather than what if I don't do it and I'll never know, and be content not trying for myself, you know?
Yeah, that's so true. Mike says, good to see you again. Roman's in the house. Yes, it's Monday again.
Mike's been.
I just had to take over a month off due to my son leaving for boot camp. It's really throwing reselling journeys into for a loop. And that's one of the things you have to take. You know, sometimes you have to take that break, no matter what it is. And in your case, you did a new job, a new position, and that kind of thing. Also, don't forget that this week, the feature channel that I do every Friday is also up. This past Friday was Bama Picking and Grinding, Mr. John. Good morning, Johnny and Sonny. Good morning, Paul. Wrestling figure grab. I just sold the wrestling figure yesterday. I got a packet. So what is the main thing you do as far as what is your main platform that you sell on?
eBay.
And is there any other platforms you do besides eBay?
No, I do need to open up to it. And being now that I am full-time and I don't want to work for another company unless I really have to, we spoke about this earlier. I'm not ashamed to say I need help. I'm not going to ask the community for help, you know, but if I need help financially, I'm going to go out there and go where I need to go to. Starting out with a part-time job. I don't want to do a full-time job, but whatever helps me just lean over towards being in the positive of me reaching my goals, I'm going to be okay. And my wife, more than anything, and this house every month will be paid for.
Right.
You know, that's without a doubt with the rest of my life that I got going on. But when it comes to just doing what you want to do, you know, being a full-time reseller by yourself, whether you're with somebody or not, but you're the only reseller, right? It's all on you. It's 100% you. You're not going to do great all the time, but you can't worry about what you're not selling one day. You just got to keep grinding through listing stuff, even if it's slow. Just the other day, and I'm just restarting reselling full-time. I was here I got up after listing 2 items. I went downstairs. I looked outside and I was just relaxing. I was like, I really don't want to list anymore. And I was like, nope, this is what I want to do. So I got my butt back up here, and slowly but surely I was going through the checklist of, you know, listing things correctly, being honest. And by the end of the day, I had reached my goal of trying to list $300 or more per day. And that's my goal daily. And I have a lot of stuff to be doing that, which is insane.
And that's the good thing about it, because then you can make your own schedule. That's one good thing about it. I want to say hello and welcome to Cheap Fine Gold Mines. How are you doing, Coburn and Amy? It's been a while, but I just watched their video. And if you don't mind, put your link in the video for this house they went to. I don't know how y'all did it, because I wouldn't have never done it. They went to this hoarder house that was being condemned or sold as is with things in it. It is amazing on how many games, devices and things that was in this house. Every room of the house had this stuff. So if y'all haven't seen that video, you got to go watch it. It is amazing of the stuff they wound up getting out of that house. And that was just the tip of the iceberg. There was a lot they couldn't even touch. Little Miss Q, hello. Hope you're doing well. Hope the surgery went well for you. I was thinking about you all weekend, looking to see if you did an update, and I saw you did put a video out this weekend. So it's so good to see you, and hopefully everything went well with your surgery. Let's see. Glam says, Poop, I'm sorry. Enough, not mean. Oh, that's talking to each other. Thinking each other. Let's see here. Are you, Becky? Oh, they're talking about the wrestling, some wrestling thing that went on. Sonny, we got to get you on the Amazon and Walmart. What's up, Picker Tom in the house?
It's one of the questions I would get asked often from coworkers. And that's one thing I wouldn't share much with coworkers unless they mention something and they're like, I would answer them. They're like, how do you know so much about, you know, shipping and reselling? And I was like, well, I do this on the side. And then they would spark the question of like, no. What really, how do you know? And I'm like, well, I do thrifting on the side. And then later on, there would come more questions, or they would tell another coworker. And soon enough, like 1 out of every 5 questions from somebody different would be, do you do Amazon? And I'm like, no, I don't. They're like, why? And I was like, because I don't know enough about it. And I've always had Robert from The Lobster. Everybody knows. He's been pushing me ever since I started here on YouTube. Was, Sonny, I'll teach you. You know, I'll FaceTime you. And he's out in California, so I'm pretty sure in time we'll meet each other. And I need to reach out to them and say, hey, you know, I'll take that help.
Yeah. The New England Thrifter says thinking positive is just half the battle. This is a great supportive community. And that's one of the things I always think about when I wake up in the morning. You have to think positive on a lot of things. There's always going to be somebody who's going to try to bring you down, but you got to overcome that and think positive. Because for me, if I think positive, I think it's better than thinking negative. You always have to look at the brighter side of things, because there's always going to be somebody who's either worse off than you, especially if they have a problem or something. But I look at it this way: I don't never have problems; I have solutions. So you got to kind of give it the half full glasses, or half full or half empty kind of thing. And I always think it's always half full. Little Miss Q says it was a rough weekend. Surgery didn't go as well, but I am alive, so praise the Lord. Video scheduled to be dropped. Awesome. Sorry to hear it didn't go well, but hopefully it
prayers to you, Little Miss Q. I also read up there previously you said that you lost a few subscribers on the thing, and that could be bothersome, but just know those probably aren't people that were going to support you anyways. You know, it's better to have what you have and not worry about the numbers, because as long as you just
Little Miss Q,
you know, to go, just keep being you, keep sharing you, and you draw the right people in.
Exactly.
You know, that understand you and want to be just in your business in a good way.
Yep. And that's the people you want to be around. And I've always learned that from growing up. You have to, because that's the only way you're gonna make it in life. And yeah, that's okay. Let's go back to some more questions. I know you always seem to be positive in the chats. I know a lot of times you do a lot of cut-ups and joking and things like that. So what gets you to keep in that positive mind? And when you're in a lot of chats, I've noticed that you do a lot of great comebacks and comments and things like that. What keeps you going with doing that?
Because I struggle. I honestly struggle at not overthinking things. I'm harder than myself, and I'm pretty sure this is for all people.
Yeah.
You know, people could be down on us, but we're really harder on ourselves than people know. And it just doesn't help if people are that way. And I do struggle with depression, but it's one of those things I've been able to cope with and focus on what's good and what's not. And it's not easy. It's like having sciatica. You could be good one day, and then the next day it just kicks you in the butt.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's just a day.
Yep.
You know, as long as you're busy and you're trying something and you have something to show for, you're going to be all right.
Yeah.
You know, you can't dwell on it, and you can't sit to yourself. You can't put baby in a corner with yourself and just beat yourself up, you know.
Yeah. And it's a struggle that a lot of people are dealing with, but the best thing about it is you only can take it day for day. Yesterday's gone and over. Tomorrow's not promised. We have to live for the day. So,
and I just flip it. I just try to see what more I could do, and for me and my wife and my family, and just have fun doing it. And with that struggle, I just reflected towards something else, you know, like the video on Instagram. Like sometimes I overthink things. Sometimes I hella overthink things. Towards like, why am I doing too much for something so simple? You know, and that just comes from my background of being in the military. I was in for 10.5 years. And then I've worked odds and end jobs. And when you stay focused on negativity, it just sits on your shoulders. But unless you're like, you know what, I'm stronger than this, I could just, you know, suplex this thing and do military presses with it and control it, then you control yourself and what you want to do.
Exactly.
It'll be a struggle, but you're going to be more than okay with just going towards something like this community and friends and family that you know that you could see in person and talk to people who are actually going to listen. But at the same time, you can't just keep going at these people and say, hey, I have problems. You got to start saying, hey, I have my own answers, and showing it. And then reselling, not so much that it's a struggle, it's all random, but my videos aren't always going to be good. I'm not always going to have the best things to say or say without stuttering or using buzzwords like but as long as you share it, like, people get to see that you're human too, like they are, and they don't have to worry about being perfect.
Yeah.
Which 2 videos ago, my return video of saying, you know, I left my job and I'm going to do reselling full time, that was not the video I wanted to share. I had an edited video with highlighted stuff when I'd mentioned brands and other people's names, so that way I could say, hey, go to them, you know, go check out those guys and women. and it wasn't. It was the one where I made very few cuts, and I'm like, oh my god! And I got the most views and support out of that one than I did with the following one that I made recently, that had edits in it and other things. And I'm like, got me thinking, just don't cut yourself off in videos too much where people don't see that you make mistakes too. Let them feel comfortable knowing like, hey, Sonny made mistakes and he's not perfect. I could be better than that guy. Let me share my video. I can't be that bad.
That is so true. Chuck says, I just had, but I think it's hit 500 subs, and I'm trying to make sure that I thank everyone who has helped me get there, including you, Johnny, and most of the people in the chat. I am very grateful. That is awesome, Chuck. Congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations.
Every milestone's a big milestone. Trust me. Susanna's here. Hello, Susanna. She's doing a new video. In case if y'all want to check it out, it's this morning at 10 or 10:30. I think it's at 10 o'clock, where she's doing more of an old style, new way TV guide for YouTube, where she is going to be, for those who submitted information to her for the week, and she'll go ahead and plug in everybody's show in her description, including the links to their YouTube channel and the dates and times that they'll be on for the week. So if you want to get a chance and check that out, she'll have that, I think, at 10 o'clock today, if I'm not mistaken. It was a new thing she's doing. Sonny, thank you so much for your service. It has value, and we are grateful that you are here to share your journey.
You're very welcome. And the thing with me being military, I've never felt like I was above people who weren't military. I've always felt like the people who weren't military were the ones that I'm like, I want to be like you. I don't always want to be the support, I always want to be the person on the other side where it gets relaxed. But I see why the military is here, to protect and let people live, going on about their way in life and doing their own shenanigans, whether it's good or bad. But freedom is such an important thing to have. In the military, I was out from 99, got out in 2011. And I until this day, I never kept up with sports. And I used to be big in sports ever since I was a little kid, from the original Cracker Jack boxes and penny candies. Before taxes came about, people look at me and they're like, you're only like 20 something years old. No, I'm 40 years old. So when I bring this stuff up, I'm glad I'm able to reflect and compare of what I could compare to say, hey, it's not as bad as then, it's better now. And I can make it better. And it's fun that being a civilian, to have this freedom to say, hey, I'm not going to work today for somebody. I'm going to do something for me and for mine. And it's just amazing. So Picker, thank you for coming by. I was originally started as a tanker. I forget what the MOS was at that time. And then somehow either went colorblind right away, right before even finishing boot camp. That's what I signed up for, the tanker. And then all of a sudden, with the colorblindness, they said, hey, sorry, you can't become a tanker. So I ended up going into quartermaster company, which I ended up working in satellites and towers and communications right afterwards. So I don't know how I can be a tanker without, twisting a few wires and encrypting radios. It's weird. Some people just trust me for no reason.
Good morning, Callie. How are you doing? Good to see you. Good morning. Hello and welcome. Now, if you haven't checked out Sonny's channel yet, it's Las Vegas Thrifts. It's at the top in the blue box. His link is there if you haven't checked out his channel before, or you haven't checked out any of his content. So how long have you been doing YouTube now? The blue box.
I think I started I had a big break of about a year. And before that, I think I was only active for 6 months. But before that, I was following people. I was active Army. And before that, I wasn't doing too much anything because I didn't know about thrifting and reselling. I would see people and say what they were talking about. I would hear them. I just didn't comprehend what was going on until that conversation with my wife in the car. So with this break, about 2 years, I would say. Yeah, about 2 years, because actually in Hawaii, I tried YouTube, but it wasn't for reselling. It was my brother out in Texas was like, hey, I know you're traveling, my baby brother. And he was just like, I want to see what you see. And I was like, I'll buy you a ticket to come out here. He's like, no, I don't want to fly out there. I just want to see. And I was like, how do I share with my brother Sly Sylvester to share with them what I see. And I was like, duh, YouTube. So I was going out to the beaches and the barbecues with the friends that I had at the time, recording it and putting it on YouTube. And they were some of the sorriest, low quality videos ever, where the video's kind of like wavy, warpy. And he enjoyed it. That's what got me started in it.
So Horizon Picks, Roy wants to know, do you resell military items and or equipment?
I have actually. I just sold a ballistic helmet for, and it sold fast. I think I didn't do enough, but so thank you. Thank you, everybody who just supports people in reselling in general, not just myself, but Johnny here and everybody else. Watching these videos is not so much of, hey, I have more and more people that I'm sub to or have sub to me. There's just knowledge out there that helps you source through things. Now, you may know how to ship, package, source items. It's just seeing and hearing about more items that you don't know about that it makes it just smoother to go through when you are sourcing, whether it's like me who does it in person or Johnny who does it online and is like, I don't want to deal with people face to face, maybe. You know,
you situate however you like, and that's what I love about YouTube and or anything we do these days. Hello and welcome, Lee B. Hello, good morning and welcome. So when you go sourcing, is there any particular one topic, a category or niche that you may do that you tend to go to first, or that you tend to always go to when sourcing, no matter where you source?
I tend to, depending on what Goodwill or Savers I go to or thrift store, I tend to just maneuver differently with whichever store it is. If it's the one nearest me off of North Durango here in Las Vegas, I go straight to the bags because they're to the right of me. So it's a straight shot in. And for some reason, I have this superstition. And if y'all have a superstition when you thrift or go out sourcing, let us know in the comments, because this is one of mine. And I don't know if anybody else does this. So when I go and look at the carts, I tend to go for the one that has junk on the inside of the carts. I don't know why, and it never fails, because the more junk that's inside there, like little papers and receipts, I find amazing stuff if I grab that cart. And if I don't, it's kind of like mediocre. Oh, I'm okay, I found this. I don't know if it's just in my head and I'm thinking too much into it, but I tend to find some really good stuff when there's trash inside the cart.
I would have never thought of that.
What I sell the most, so back to it. So bags, then I go to the toys, and then I'll hop over left to the t-shirts and then the sporting goods. And then after that, I tend to go to jackets, especially this time of the year. I look at jackets because it's not really cold yet. So it's still summertime, and the prices are usually lower than when the winter comes and they jack them up because they know, it's trending for a season. And that's one thing I never really cared about too much. And Buffalo Picker mentioned this about a week ago. I believe he was with other resellers in there, and he also has good content on his. If you haven't checked them out, Buffalo Picker is one. He has a show often, and
every Friday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah, see, my days are all jacked up because my Friday would have been Monday. So when people say I'm off Friday, I'm like, yeah, me too, and I forget it would be Monday. So that's why my time frames and my days are off, and I'm trying to adjust back to the normal calendar days.
Yeah,
but on his, I forget what I was going to, but if you check out his videos, they're great videos. And he did share some information in the last video that I remember that he was like, I don't tell people my big secrets, but if you watch a couple of videos ago, probably now, he's going to tell you, one of his secrets with Walmart and the seasons of when to go that's best. And other people are commenting about, as well as like Ross, so retail arbitrage, which Ross is my kryptonite. I love going to Ross. I always go to socks there. They have stand socks rather than buying stand socks at the retail store for like $20. I'll go over there and buy them for like $1.99 to $3. I probably have like around 40 pairs of stand socks, which I think are the best brand name socks out there.
Wow. So what do you think is your what you sell the most of?
Jeans. I think I sell a lot more jeans, and the reason why is when I was finding a lot of good dress shoes and boots, and then all of a sudden it started dying down. I don't know, because more people realized like, hey, I need to look for these as well. Either it was just a customer that wanted them for themselves or a loved one or a reseller. So when that started getting tight, I tried looking at sports and electronics and not very much stuff. And I always remembered that there was just these racks of jeans that nobody would go through besides one or two people that you would see kind of linger, look through something, they'll lift their head off and walk off. Like, I don't know what I'm looking at and I don't care for jeans. And when I did that, I said, that's probably my best bet. So I looked at the racks, and within like 5 or within the first rack of maybe like 50 jeans, there was one jean inside there that was a salvage jean from Japan, and it sold for, I got it for $7 and it sold for over $100.
Wow.
And on top of that, there was more jeans when I went back, because now I'm educating myself on jeans, and there's so much stuff to every type of apparel, the types of collared shirts, Henley, short sleeve, single stitch, double stitch. You know, it's just so much information out there, which is why, again, reselling, following people can educate you more than anybody else can. You know, unless you're just sitting there and you're gonna look over the same things when you're like, I already know this, until somebody says something, you're like, oh, that's something different.
Yeah. So I want to say hello to everybody who's coming in. Also, if you haven't checked out Sonny's channel, it is in the blue box above in the chat. It's amazing because I always seem to, when you're in the chats, what's amazing too is you always have that upbeat comments or suggestions and things like that. So when you're going sourcing though, is there any particular thing that you do not, and not say refuse, but maybe would not care to pick up that you wish you would learn something of?
Before, yes. I felt weird looking into women's stuff, because I would get these looks of like, hey, why are you over here in my section? When I've never done that to females when they're over here in the guys section. I don't judge, you know? And I just didn't like the looks. But it's one of those things you have to get over with, that are you missing out? Are you giving yourself more opportunities? And that kind of reminds me off the top of my head, when I went to my first garage sale, I went to go see an item. And all of a sudden, I'm like, I want to look at this, but I don't want to look at my phone. So I ran over to my car at the time, and I'm in my phone looking at this information. I'm like, yeah, that's a good idea. I should get that. And I go run back and get it. And I'm pretty sure that house owner was like, what the hell is this guy doing going to the garage sale in his car back and forth? You know, you just got to get over the shyness and just be like, yeah, I'm looking at it. I want to make sure that I'm buying it for a good deal.
Yeah.
You know?
Philly says you promised that you would be doing a lemon on Instagram. Well, he did. I saw all 3 clips he sent me. So yeah, he did do it, Paul. Okay. So when you started doing your reselling, what would be some of the, say for example, we do have some new people that are in the chat. Some people do not resell, but are thinking about it, or they don't do YouTube videos and they are thinking about it. Because I love the comments when some people put in there, I haven't started, didn't do a video yet. And so that word yet means they're thinking about it to me.
Yeah.
So what are some of the tips?
You haven't done it yet.
Huh?
Yeah. Having it doing yet, it's already doing it in your head. You already know you're going to do it. You just haven't physically done it and put it together yet.
Yeah. So what would be some of your tips to tell them about, to go ahead and do it? What would be your tips?
First tip, when you're recording yourself, whether it's an actual camera or a phone, if you can't afford a camera right now, don't worry about it. Use your phone. Use everything that you have right now to the best of your abilities until it gets you to where you can upgrade on stuff. And when it comes to recording yourself, that's where it starts off. Don't be so perfect in recording yourself, thinking about anything. Just start talking. Keep letting it play. Don't stutter like I'm doing right now, or pausing and then pausing the camera. Just pick yourself up together, relax, drop your shoulders, and just, hey, this is Sonny. I'm here on YouTube. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm going to try my best and figure it out. And if you're able to help me, come help me too. I greatly appreciate it. You know, something like that.
Yeah.
Because if you think about it too much, you're going to be stuck trying to record for hours. And that doesn't even help you when it comes to editing when you're overthinking it too. That's even like a whole day where you're just sitting there frustrated, nearly going bald if you're not already bald like Johnny. And it just, don't stress yourself. Just record, relax, let it play through. And when you go record, if you want to clean it up, you can. That's the good thing about editing software. I have an iMac, and I use the iMovie for most of it. And when I'm really like, no, I want to go all in on this, and I want to share all this stuff, and I want to be creative, I do. And I go on Premiere Pro, which for me, Adobe hasn't caught on yet because I'm no longer in college, where I went for a digital media background, got an associate's in it, and I have the students version, or students pay it. If you're a student, all you got to do is email Adobe your school email, and then they confirm it, and then you get a discount. So I'm only paying like $19 or $20 a month. I don't know if it's cheaper now, but I've never messed with it. And if you're not a student, then it's for much more. Right. So if you have kids or other people who are in school, you could be like, hey, let me use your email. Just confirm it. Yeah.
He's teaching you the ropes here, huh? I'm still shy but nervous doing a video. And you know, the thing about it is, and I hear this a lot, you just got to do it. And that was my biggest thing at the beginning too. Somebody just said, well, just do it. And that's basically, you're just going to do it and be who you are. You know, don't worry about it. Like Sonny and I were talking before the show, how he wants to be perfectionist about his videos, but then on the other hand, he just lets it be whatever it is. And that's what you got to think about it. Because if you want to be so perfect, you'll never put out a video. So the minute you do it, at least you get the hang of it, and the more you do it, the comfortable you'll be in the front. And I'm going to tell you for myself, I don't know about you, Sonny, but for me, it took me about 6 months to get comfortable in the back of a camera. I don't know about how most people are, but I think for me, it was about 6 months. It took me a month to get my first video out. I edited forever to be perfect. Yeah, and that's going to be the hardest thing. If you keep doing it like that, it's going to happen. And then you're going to having a lesser video than what you really want. Hello, Cody. Good morning. Hello and welcome. I totally camera shy. Yeah. Okay.
Hi,
if you say so, Cody. Good morning, Jennifer.
Profile.
Good morning, Kayla.
And Jennifer. Hello, Jennifer.
Yes.
Hello, Jennifer. I have her on Facebook too. Just positive person, good person.
All right. For those that are coming into the chat, for those who may not know who you are, again, this is Sonny's first time doing a live morning show, even though he's 3 hours away from us. He did get up this morning to come be on the show. Yeah. So tell everybody, I'm going to give you to have a little recap on what you do and about your full-time now and that kind of thing for your channel. And let everybody know who just recently came in. We have a few new people that came in and let them know about you.
So I no longer work at the Wynn Casino where I was working as an armed security. I was there for about 4 years and said, you know what, I want to get back to reselling. I kind of don't want to deal with certain things. I didn't hate my job, but I didn't want to get into that point. So threw up the deuces. And then now reselling, it's one where I got to try to make up as much money as I can to where I was making $4,000 per se a month at the company I was at. And for some people that could say like, man, that's really good money, or I make more. But for me, that's probably the most money I made having a civilian job. But the happiness was going away, and it was becoming not so much more stressful, but it was becoming more dangerous and really dangerous, like life-threatening, to where it happened before not too long ago. It made the news, and that just stayed on my shoulders. And me being me, I just said, you know what, I can't do this. I can't just be there for other people and not be there for myself. And I want to succeed my own way, and I want to be happy. And I also want to be with my wife more times than what I am. She is a nurse, and we are doing pretty good. She gets 3 days on, 4 days off. And I've always been jealous of her having the 4 days off, even though she's earned it, to where it's like, I want to spend more time with her. I don't want to wait for permission slips of, can I take this vacation or not? And one thing that bothered me with the company that I'm at, you can put in your vacation put in for vacation, and then somebody come around with seniority and say, I actually wanted those days. That happened to me where the vacation days were taken and I couldn't go on my little vacation to a country concert here in Vegas. So I want to be more in control of me and my outcome, and which is why I went back to reselling and came back, because it's never left. I've always sold items and thrifted, even when I wasn't sharing it for the year that I was gone off of YouTube.
Okay, so we have a question here for you from, where did it go? Right here. How is the picking in Vegas for you?
Picking in Vegas, I would say it's picking up and is not so bad. I got to get out of my habits of going too late. I end up going like midday or towards the end of the day when I should be, when I have time, is go when I go in the mornings. But one thing with priorities and the change now of me being a full-time reseller, my priorities are like this. My wife works at Graves, right? So she works Graves. She's going to get off and be home around 8, be home or 8:30, depending on traffic. So during that time, I get up early. I'll start listing items. When she gets home, I stop. I ask her what she wants for breakfast. If she wants breakfast, talk to her about her day. She goes to sleep, and I come back to work. And during that time, depending on what the day is, like today, is Savers have off Mondays here in Vegas. And from some things on TikTok, people were messaging me saying that they didn't know Savers was half off, or they wish they had it there in their area. Places are different. And with my time off, I know my wife's going to end up waking up at 3. So during that time, I got to figure out where I'm going to and be back on time, and then make sure she either wants to go get something to eat or we cook something at home, and then spend time with my dog too. Even though it's an animal, it has feelings, and it's such a good dog. And he was here earlier when I was talking. I just didn't lift them up. So those are my priorities. It's, family first. And one thing my wife told me in the beginning when I started reselling, because I felt the sacrifice and the purpose was different at the time. When I started reselling, again, in the beginning of this show, I mentioned I didn't have a job. I didn't have nothing going for me other than I knew I could work places and I should probably be going for management jobs. I just didn't want to do management because I came from that in the military, and I didn't want that responsibility anymore. So with that, I just felt like, hey, what do I do different to make money? And reselling is by far probably the easiest thing I've done, but it's not so easy at the same time, because again, your success is your own. Whether you're a reseller, an artist, a husband, a wife, a child, like there are responsibilities to everything that we do, and it's fun.
Yeah.
And it's relaxing now that I'm doing me full time. I just can't tell you how relieved I am to just be home and say, hey, I get to wake up and talk to Johnny and talk to people that we've never met face to face, but here we are in this community to just be like, people are listening.
Yeah.
People want to listen and they want to soak in what you have. Whether they remember it the next day or not, it doesn't matter, because right now is like my time and your time. And there's people up here on the other end just like supporting us. And that's huge morally and mentally for people, whether you know it or not. You make a big difference in how people are throughout the rest of their day.
And one of the things too, whenever you're with others in chats, and whether if it's in the chat you're talking or you're on the live on the panel, to me, it's not what you say, but how you say it determines how somebody's day is going to go. And it's one of the things I always try to be mindful of, is being careful of what you say, but how you say it. Sounds like healthy work-life balance. That's right.
And see, that's like, for me, like I said earlier a few times, I overthink things and I try not to. I try to relax. And that's such, I read that and I'm like, see, I wish I would have just said that. But sometimes it doesn't come out that way. And that's what I mean in reference to recording yourself.
Yeah.
People could do things differently, but you will always share you, and people will understand that,
Dixon, there you go. Jennifer already dropped it for you right there. So when you go thrifting, though, is there any category that you tend to want to do more? And then where do you usually typically go to do your sourcing?
I usually go to Goodwill and Savers, only because there's a handful of them here. And then there's another one. I call it Desert Industries, but I think it's Deseret Industries.
Okay.
And that place is pretty good. It's more of I'm not sure what religion it is, but their items are very selective. What they let out, what they don't. You won't find anything like that has bad words on it, or I don't know. If you go in there, I find it amazing because there's not too much people that go in there, but there are some good items, especially some jeans. When I go inside there, I was just thinking the other day when I went, I said, you know what? Last time when I came over here, I found this Davucci, I believe, jeans, and they're vintage jeans. And sure enough, I found another pair of jeans, are a set of jeans of the same brand, and these are $60 to $100 pants, vintage, used, even semi beat up. And lo and behold, I found another one in the same size. So I'm wondering if it's the same owner that's donating them to the same place. So I got to just keep going and finding these same jeans.
Vegas has the word largest savers.
Do they?
I don't know. One thing I like about Savers though is when you go in, and I love the walls where they have all these bags of different things, and I find the best stuff in those little bags. Let's see. Everybody's saying hello.
It is a pretty big place. The one
Johnny Pam will be selling her own lot of auction trains on KT's channel tonight. Awesome. Not sure where she and my son will be online. Okay, well, we'll have to check that out tonight. Don't forget to see if you can get the link and put it in the chat. KT, if you could, put the link for your auction tonight. Pam's going to be on there tonight. That's going to be awesome. Yes, it's a dirty game. Now, do you ever get a chance to go to estate sales in your area?
My first and only so-called estate sale I went to, but this individual, as soon as I walked in, he just had he was more organized than I've ever seen somebody be, which told me you're not really an estate seller or a regular person having an estate sale. You're a reseller. And the prices that he had were just ridiculous. So I ended up buying a box of comics, and he said he's never picked through them. And just looking through a few of them, and I do need to go through them and try to do the best that I can to make some money up for it or even out. But that was the only one. I really get discouraged still, even though I've been thrifting and reselling forever. Going to places is one thing where it's I just don't know. There's this little haze of things on my shoulders where it's just I want to go, but I don't want to go. I want to go, but I don't want to go. I get butterflies still.
You get the two yes and no's on your shoulders, huh?
Yeah. I get butterflies for a lot of things. And even coming on this channel last night, I was just I couldn't sleep. It was at 11 and watching TV and then getting up. My eyes just boom, you're up, Sonny. It was 4 in the morning. I was but my alarm's not until 4:30. You know, what are you doing, eyeballs? Close up. So even then, I'm just getting nervous.
That's the military in you.
Yeah.
Let's see. Pam says, what do you find in the bags? I have no patience for them. I've found things like calculators. I found bags that had red line Hot Wheels. You name it. I've bought stuff where I've sold one piece that paid for everything else and then some with profits. So you gotta have the patience to look through them. Sometimes you can definitely see what's in those bags. What was the best thing you ever found in any of the Savers bags that they have put together?
The Savers bag, I ended up finding a little plushie, and inside that bag, those bags are usually bundles, right? And it could be a good price, usually not. But I ended up finding a little bag of plushies for around $4, and one of the plushies was a little bowl that I found one similar to it before. The one before sold for $100. So when you broke it down, it was 50 cents. And this one was probably a quarter because there was 4 other plushies are $1. And that one sold for $30. And I thought that was so cool that, you could turn $1 per se, or a bag of, you got 3 other plushies that could sell for something too, on top of what you already sold one item for.
Exactly.
But when it comes to those little bags or whatever you're looking at, I don't focus on what's in those bags. I focus on, what am I learning today? What am I learning right now that I see next time and I know I don't need to look at it? Or, oh, I'm looking at that. That looks familiar. Why am I looking at that? There'll be a lot of times you do that when you look at things. It's just the look and feel of stuff. And people who don't or hasn't thrifted yet or sourced out there physically kind of won't get it until they see it themselves. When they look at something, touch something, where something just stops them dead in their tracks. And you're holding on to that item in the rack and you're searching through everything else. It's you're crowding your own little space.
Yeah.
But it's funny thrifting and reselling, the habits we do.
Right. Paul wants to know, do you venture out to Cali and do sourcing?
I didn't venture out to Cali purposely to source. We ended up going on vacation out in Anaheim, going to Disney over there. And I went to a couple of spots. They weren't very good, but that doesn't prevent me to look. So I still want to look, because you never know. It's still yet all random. It doesn't mean because it's a better place that you're going to find better items.
Exactly.
You know, it's all random, and I think that's the the worm on the hook that kind of lures you in. You know, you want to like, what's there that somebody didn't find? What can I find?
Hello, Pam Pam. Good morning. Let's see. Thank you, Jennifer. I couldn't figure it out. There you go. She's got the link. I was trying to look at them again. And that's the thing about it. Don't overthink them. Because sometimes you may hear somebody, and that's one of the things too when you're watching other channels. Somebody may say they were sourcing, or they went to a garage sale or a estate sale, and they wound up picking this up because it was maybe selling for this amount, or they're sourcing and that's what this is selling for. And then every now and then you'll see those kind of things in those bags. And if you can find or see one thing, if you happen to catch an eye on something in a bag and you know it, you've seen it before, go with your guts and pick it up. And a lot of times one item will pay for that bag and then
and I like that when that happens, and that tends to be when the longer or more you educate yourself in thrifting and reselling, knowing these names and informations, you can end up most likely, if you have enough time, find one item that could cover everything else, and then everything else is profit. And that's usually my go-to. I don't like finding something and I don't find one thing that I'm like, I could make $10 off of this.
Right.
You know? But it also depends on the price, because I would for sure buy an item for $1 if the comps were nothing but $5 to $10, and they are just selling. And when people say comps too, ends up being, I always want to ask the question, but they're usually just live and already pre-made videos that are posted up. Are these comps just one comp that you found, where they're like say literally a dozen, or were they like 50 or plus comps of this item selling for that much? And those usually excite me when there's that particular item that sells and everybody else, fortunately the resellers have, you know, the same number amount and they're not lowballing each other. Those are like my little bolos of like, yes, like I know I scored, there's no doubt about it. So I look for those too. So comps is a funny word, because you don't know if it's one comp, two comps of that item that they sold within years, only two, you know, are they selling consistently?
So my next question is, when you do go outsourcing, do you use a particular app, or I know I use eBay. So do you use like eBay apps, or do you have any other apps that you use to look up what you're having to?
Other than eBay, I just Google it, but I also look on Amazon. So when you Google stuff, you could look at the images, and you could see what it's posted on.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what exact site. And I do comparisons, because there's been times where when I do go to Walgreens, that's another place I do go to every once in a while. The Walgreens here usually has a clearance section. And this particular time I ended up going because my wife used to buy makeup like crazy. She has a lot of makeup and she rarely puts it on, which is funny. But when she would go, I would go look at the clearance. And I ended up finding this, was it like birth test or pregnancy test? And they were only $4. And there was like around 8 or 9 of them. So I looked online, and on eBay, they're selling them for like $50, or Amazon was $50. And then somebody on Amazon or eBay had them for $9. And I was like, this person cutting themselves off too short. And all it was one photo on the front, pregnancy test, nothing else, no description, no back photo, no expiration date. So I said, that's where I'm going to get over on the other person, is by sharing more information. And that's one thing I do tend to do, is I share as much photos as I can, but don't overdo photos either. Like if you have a boombox, you're going to want to show the speakers, you want to show the screen powered on, you want to say if what works, what doesn't work, the battery casing on the back, does the cord disconnect? Like what are the flaws? You know, what are people going to ask me that I could show them without them having to ask me, and they get to see the answers themselves. So with this pregnancy test, I ended up putting it for $40 free shipping on eBay, and I shared everything. And they sold within a few days. And my wife was laughing at first, and then she was like, we should go back to the other Walgreens. Especially with this money. Like when I was working, this money that I would make on profits, my wife would be like, hey, I want to go eat here. And I'm like, no, let's go here. And she was like, but that's an expensive place. And I was like, you don't know who you're talking to. I'm balling right now. I'm going to treat you right now. And I would use that money, and she would say, like, she would look at the account and say like, hey, that payment hasn't came out yet. And I was like, yeah, because at the time it was PayPal. I finally switched over, you know, to just going straight out of my account.
Right.
But that was a good part of reselling too, is that you don't have to touch your account if you're out working, or you could separate them if you want several accounts, or just have the discipline to have a savings and a checking. So it's good reselling to have that extra money on the side and not have to worry about it. But now being a reseller full time, I'm like, hold on to that penny. Like, I'm a miser. I'm trying to stretch my dollar out. And one thing I will be doing more, or start doing, is garage sales, because you do get a bargain. And usually there's some around your area, and you get to check out other things. And then also go to the Goodwill bins is another thing where you could stretch your dollar, where you might not find big quality items, but again, it's all random. But I could buy more for a lot less and just pay for weight. So that's when I wouldn't mind selling less costly things. You know, as long as I'm buying it for like 25 cents and I could sell it for $10, deal. I'll take that any day throughout the day.
Exactly. So when you're doing any sourcing, do you tend to, or think about going online? And I know I've seen a lot of people doing these type of videos, but and again, it may be that you may not have the space for it, but do you tend to do or want to do any of those bulk buys or pallet buys or anything like that online?
I would like to, and I think most people would, but it always comes down to space. And for me, cleaning out my garage just now and now allowing my wife to park a car back in the garage, you know, is one thing I don't want to deal with, of my wife nagging me like, you need to clean the garage, you need to clean the garage. And for men, I think it's just part of our DNA, like throwing out the trash or washing the dishes is like, maybe I shouldn't generalize all men. I'll speak for myself. It's just like, yeah, I'll do it later. And then it's like a week later and things are piled up. And it's like, oh man, I forgot the trash. Even though your other one was like, I just told you this, you know. So now I'm creating better habits, especially being at home. There's no reason for me not to help clean up the house, which I have been. I've already mopped and swept the floors. This is a 2-story house. And also not just that, just, you know, toilets and other things. My priorities are let my wife not be upset at me. Let me do what she does and start being more a part of it. Because when I was working 5 days a week, it was really hard to have 2 days off where you want to rest one day, and then the second day you're like, okay, I want to get out the house. You know, I want to get some fresh air. I want to get a breather. But now it's not the same way because it's different circumstances.
Yeah.
You know, it's better, but there's more responsibility because I have that time and I don't have valid reasons not to.
Right. Paul wants to know, is there any 2-hour premiere videos coming in the future, in your future?
2-hour premieres? I see this. I'm glad you asked that, because you shouldn't limit yourself to videos, and there's suggestions all over the place. And what I'm doing is suggesting that if you're making a video or come up with a video and you feel like you just want to keep running with it, run with it. And then, because sure enough, other times you're going to have videos where it's like, I only wanted 5 minutes. That's what it comes out to, and I'm happy with it. You shared your message and your story. Just let it be. But I like the long premieres. I like long videos. For me, when I'm watching other people, and this is the thing, I do more supporting of others than I do for myself, and I'm trying to find that balance as well. So when there's long videos, I just have it playing, and I go take photos. I have a lot of items here, a lot of clothes that you can see right here in the back of me. Like, there's a lot. And
that's clothes. Wow, that is a lot.
There's a lot. But for me, I'm mentally organized. I'm just not physically organized.
Right.
And I like to just hear people, and really I do. I just like to feel like there's somebody there that I could listen to and be occupied and be doing like my business of thrifting and reselling, putting it all together here. And when there's particular things that are said, I'm like, whoa, what did Johnny just say? Or who did what just say? Right. And I backtrack the video and I'm like, what is that? Oh, I'm going to write that down. And I really do now take a list of writing things down, especially for bolo items. And even though they're bolo, these are rare items usually, but it's going to help me because those are going to be the bigger money makers. And it just helps. It just helps with what I do.
So when you say you write it down, do you use an app on your phone to where when you're sourcing out in the fields?
Pen, pencil, paper.
Okay. So you're like me as far as a lot of little notes all over the place around your computer.
Because I would always write or I would always say, I'm going to remember this. I'm going to remember this. And then I don't. And I'm like, what was it that they were talking about? Who was talking about it? Because your mind's so occupied that it can't remember everything that well. You could say you do. And it was funny. I had a coworker at the Win, and when I was a bike officer, and he was like, I'm going to do good on this test. We were both going for Metro officers here. And we both ended up having the same test days. We sat right next to each other. Not that I wanted to, but I guess he felt like, hey, I know this guy. I'm going to feel comfortable. Cool, come over here, Ro. So he sat next to me, and he was like, yeah, these pictures are going to be easy. You have a picture on your screen of a scenario that's happening on the street, and then you got to write about it. And I remember him telling me, he was like, I have one of those, a good memory. What's that called? And I'm like, you're saying you have a good memory, but you can't remember what you're doing.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, and I was just like, you got a good memory, photographic memory. You just ran out of film roll. And he started laughing. It's just funny, like we tend to think we're better than what we are at certain things when we're really not. And it's good to be just humble, modest, and say, you know what, I don't know everything. I do forget. I'm not perfect. Because a lot of the issues we have aren't issues. We just tend to put too much on ourselves that people realize. Right. Just relax. That's what I try to do for myself.
Well, I want to say, first of all, when I started YouTube, I want to say thank you, Sonny, because you've always been in every chat, supporting everybody. You always made comments. You always made jokes, but it was all in good fun. You always kept a good positive attitude. So I want to make sure that everybody knows that if you haven't subscribed to Sonny, it is in the blue box above in the chat. And if you go to anybody's link in the chat, including Sonny's, and you see that word subscribe is in red, that means you're not subscribed. Change it to gray. And right next to it, those three bells. Hit the notifications of all so you don't miss out. Because Sonny has been producing some videos again, and he's coming back out with more. And before I open the chat now to the panel, or if anybody wants to come on the panel, I want you to tell everybody and give them like a thought of the day, because I know you always got this positive information that you always share. So go ahead and talk a little bit about your channel, what you're doing, and give them a good positive closing before I put the link in the chat for the opening of the StreamYard.
Okay. Once again, my name's Sonny. I'm here in Las Vegas. I just started full-time reselling. And I'm going to do my best. The content that I have is going to be all me. If I mess up, and I'm going to share that. If it's a short video, it'll be short. It'll be a long video. Whatever you see is going to end up being me naturally and not being too much of overthinking things. I just want to relax and have fun. And I hope that for those who do subscribe and follow along, if not now, maybe later, you'll see that I'm probably going to be one of those guys that we're like, Sonny, spit it out. Share with me your mindset. I want to do what you're doing. And all honesty, I want to do what you're doing is just enjoy, watch, and apply what I can towards being successful my way. And I hope that it boomerangs your way to where what I have and share could help you out as well. Because at the end of the day, we could only do so much. But as long as you're having fun and you're able to share it, then you're able to share another laughter or smile along the way. So I am thrifting full time. I am in Las Vegas, but I'm trying to do the best that I can, not only for me, but my community as well inside the thrifting reselling.
All right, now I'm going ahead and I'm replacing the StreamYard link at the top, but I will still periodically put the channel link for Sonny in the chat. If you want to come on and join us on the panel and ask questions or talk about your channel, promote your channel, you're more than welcome to. And I want to thank you again, Sonny, for coming in. I know this was a long, early visit for you, but I think this was an overdue visit because, again, this way to put the name with a face. And I really appreciate that you were able to come on and talk about your channel. I love your positivity that you do on a lot of your videos.
Thank you for asking.
And in the chat. So,
Thank you for allowing me to be on your show. For those who don't know, this should have probably happened a year ago. And that's when I got the new position where it was like, I'm going to do it. It just the time never worked out because during this time I would be at work.
Yep.
Which it happened right there when I self-promoted myself to go for another job position, got it. And then I was like, sorry, Johnny, I can't do it. And then nothing came of it until now that I have all the time that I can to say, hey, no excuses. And when somebody offers you, this is like a good luck show today, because that's already 4 sales so far. But when somebody gives you the opportunity to go live and you're able to do it, You know, you're not going to be perfect. Don't worry about being perfect. But that's an opportunity, free opportunity to share your face and name and story for other people to follow you too, especially if you want to be on social media and grow.
Yeah.
Then jump at it. Even if it's a minute, make the best of it. Even if you get cut off, make the best of it.
Right. Well, one of the things I have to say too, even back then, even though you were working so much and you and I had still kept in touch, the best thing about it is keeping that open communication with each other. Because I met you from the beginning when I first started, and again in chats. But again, with all the social media that we have out there, the best thing is to say, hey, how are you doing? How are things going? Mm-hmm. And that's one of the things I liked about keeping in touch with you, because you and I still kept in touch, understanding that you were working a full-time job too. So thank you for doing that. And again, it's an honor to have you on the show, because I've been knowing you from the beginning anyway.
Mm-hmm.
When I first started. That's what's good that you're able to come on and others can see your name with your face as well. Speaking of name with a face, here is our featured channel for the week, Mr. John himself. Bama.
What's up, everybody?
Good morning. How you doing?
Man, I'm trying to get up. It's been a
How
long
was that game this weekend?
They won 39-6. They
wow.
Showed out. Eli did really good. I was proud of him.
By the way, John, this is Sonny. Sonny, this is John.
Hello, John.
I think we connected a little while, about a day ago, right?
Yeah, I was just watching your recent video with your kids, which I like when people share their kids as well. Phoenix Flipper is one where he was showing his sons do stuff. And I think that's pretty good, because the education of sharing something like that goes a long way to, as they're growing, they're able to look at things and price it and say, is this worth dabbing in or not? You know, and
right.
It becomes quick entrepreneurs who are like, hey, in the future, you're able to succeed on your own, you know, and I like stuff like that. I don't know if it's just me, but that's how I see things. And also you get to spend time with your family. And the younger one in the middle is kind of like, I don't know who these guys are. Some of them, but he was just like, hey, I'm interested. And you can see it on his face, just relaxing. Like, hey, here's my older brother and here's my pops. And that looks fun. And I enjoyed seeing stuff like that, to where families could be together, because there's a lot of times where you do things on your own working. And to see that, for me, I was just like, this is nice. That's what I want to have one day.
How long have you been doing this with your kids, John? That they've been wanting to go out and source with you?
About 1.5 years, 2 years. And then we started filming it about a year ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, it started off with the older one. I wanted to teach him a little bit about business, and we started off selling T-shirts. Started a little store called Nifties, and he lost that really quick. So then just kind of went along. I enjoyed picking and stuff like that. Then the little one, I invited him one time to the flea market, and he was hooked. So I've been spending time with him now. The older one, he'll go every once in a while, but he's more focused on girls and video games and lifting weights. So
yeah,
it's a boy for you, though.
Yeah. I'm trying to enjoy the little one as much as I can, because he's getting to that age now where, you know, he's just turned 13, so he'll probably be moving off in his little direction, and he's already kind of that now. But it is what it is.
They grow fast.
They do. It is crazy. Eli, I have a picture on my Instagram. I don't know if you've seen it, from 2020 to 2021 of the school photos, and man, it is amazing to see how he grew within a year.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
So tell everybody a little bit about your channel. And of course, here's our feature channel for the week. So tell everybody a little bit about your channel so they know who you are. Put a name with a face.
All right. Well, you probably don't want to see the face, but this is most people come to see my kids, Eli and Ari, but I appreciate you watching me too. What we do is we go out, we thrift, just most people do. We flip stuff, but it's not our main source of income. We use it as expendable income to buy, you know, crazy stuff like this that I can, you know, give an excuse to why I can buy it so my wife doesn't get on to me. So that's the reason why we started, is so we could buy this without getting on to.
But again, you do a lot with your kids too with that, so that's what's good about it too. And that's one of the things. That's basically a way of how to support some of the things you like to do on the side, because y'all do a lot together.
Yeah, really, that was one of the reasons why I did start with my children, is to show them, hey, you can earn a little extra money on the side. You don't have to go work over here while you're at school. You need some extra spending money. Here's how we can do it. And because I've been working a long time, and I support my kids. If they want to get a job, they get a job. But if you can make a little money while you can still be in school, enjoy your hobbies, enjoy sports, and you just need money, we can figure out a way to get you some money without having to go get a little side job.
Right. Well, just like with Sonny, he does a lot of it where he even has more time now with his wife, which you can basically set your schedule, so to say, and still get what you want done. Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So we spend a lot of time. We have always spent time together as a family. I'm real big on that. I'm very busy. I work a lot of hours. So any off time I have, we're either going on trips or we spend a lot of time together because I think it's very valuable and important. Little Miss Q. Hey, how did the surgery go with her? Is everything good?
She said okay. She said it was a little bit of she had a little bit of an issue, but she's doing okay and she's alive. So I don't know if she's going to know the results right away. I know we're waiting to hear her, but she is doing fine.
Okay.
Yeah. Hello, Mr. Alt ATL. How are you doing? Good to see you. Welcome. How's everybody doing today? I am blessed. So what are some of the things you like to do other than like when you go? Oh, I don't, this is for Sonny, by the way. If you plan on going traveling, do you tend to also put into your schedule sourcing at the same time you do go on any type of travel trip?
Yes. It's like anywhere I go, it's not just when I go sourcing, isn't just at thrift stores. Even if I step into a Walmart or a grocery store, I'm looking at items. Like it's just natural now where I'm looking at things. I was like, what is that? I want to know and I want to educate myself. And it's not so much forceful. It's more of wanting to know. I want to know about what these items are. And if I find it for a lesser price, then it just helps. I'm just curious. So.
Well, that's good though. And what about for you, John?
I don't know. I was distracted by Amputee's question. He said that I reminded some country singer.
Oh, yeah.
Probably means Dwight Yoakam.
the look you're giving him.
I didn't hear the question, Johnny. I apologize.
That's okay. We're wondering if you take trips out with your family, like on a vacation, do you tend to schedule yourself into sourcing when you're out on vacation?
The last couple times we have, and we kind of look at on the way there and on the way back, we look for ways to do it because number one, my wife knows how much I enjoy it. We're on vacation, so we're doing what we enjoy, and she kind of hides it, but I think she enjoys it too because if she finds stuff that she wants, she knows I'll buy it for her. So I think she's kind of like under the radar with it. But like I just did a video where we were down in Florida, and while we were there for a week, we went thrifting. So yeah, we schedule a little time to do that, and sometimes it's just me doing it because they want to be on the beach, but it's okay.
Right. I love the last video I watched, and I don't know if you had another one come out since then because I'm going to be honest with you. I only saw that last one where she was in the van with you, and I think I did see one some after that where she was in the van. She doesn't like to be on the film, but she did say that she had to go on this one. Y'all surprised she went with y'all on that trip where she had to keep an eye on the checkbook. So what was the deal about that? That was just too funny.
What's the deal about it? That's just her being her.
I love it, though. She put you in your place on that one about the checkbook, huh?
Yeah. Take the chicken out, I think is what she said.
Who was that putting a list of channels together? That was Susanna's Chronicle. She was actually doing it. I think it's every Monday at 10 o'clock. Bama, I'm home now. Sitting here trying to package all the prizes I gave away. She did that last week. Slowly putting together mystery boxes. Getting to the mail. So that means she must be doing pretty good. She's out and about getting things done.
If she's doing that, she's doing pretty good.
Yeah. Frugal Peanuts. Hello, Marcy. Good morning. Hello and welcome. Good to see you.
Luke Combs. Oh, that's who he's talking about. Yeah. I know. That's my cousin. You didn't know that?
All right. So I want you to go ahead and talk a little bit about your channel before we go ahead and get right in the show. My numbers are going down, and I do not want to keep you too long, but again, thank you, and it's a blessing to have you on the show this morning. So let everybody know a little bit about your channel, and I will go ahead and let you know that once we end the show, you're more than welcome to come in the back room with us and chit chat with us and get to know the guest on the channel, the panel, if you would like to come on after the show. So before we do that, and before I open it to those after the channel, the video goes closed. I don't know why I'm getting tongue-tied all of a sudden. So we'll go with John and let everybody know about your channel. By the way, John is our featured channel for the week, so let them know what you're doing on your channel and where you sell at and that kind of thing real quick about your channel.
Yeah, so our channel is just about us going thrifting, and also it's about us unboxing toys and things that we buy. So it's not only how we make money, but what we spend our money on. And we just try to capture good family time. We make it funny. The kids make it funny. But if you enjoy just wholesome family time, you're not going to see a lot of junk on there. It's just going to be good. Then you'll enjoy our channel. And the boys find some really good things. So you'd be surprised at what they do find. And we mostly sell on Mercari and eBay right now. So that's our two main platforms. Shipped out 3 or 4 items this morning already. So we're doing okay. So come join us.
All right, don't forget to subscribe to his channel. He is in the featured channel of the community page of the channel. Go check him out. All right, Sonny.
So again, thrifter reseller, full time now. I'm big on reselling apparel, and I'm going to try to be more consistent with sharing videos, not just to be forceful and saying, "Hey, I have a video out," but information of what I feel is interesting and you might be interested in watching. And regardless of what I do, sharing videos or not, I'm always here for the community and do my best to keep up with everybody. And it's great seeing how Johnny's come along over this time of just having this community build for him too on these live chats. I've never been able to really catch him because I'll be at work on breaks watching these videos, and it was fun even then. So wishing I could be here. And glad that now I have this opportunity to work for myself to not miss out on very much anymore. So thank you for watching and supporting not only me, but Johnny, John, and other resellers out there, and artists, not just thrifting and resellers, just people out there trying to do what they can for themselves.
And what are your goals right now with your channel as far as videos? What is your goal for the rest of this year as far as your eBay store and your YouTube channel?
I don't know if it's changed, but you still need 1,000 subscribers, 4,000 watch hours, right?
Yes.
So that would be good to have, but I just want to share videos. I don't really have a plan of what I'm going to do, because then I'm going to limit myself to saying, hey, if I just say I'm going to do this, then I'm limiting what other things are potentially available if I don't think about focusing on one thing. So I just want to be free and relaxed and share what it is that I come up with or that's in my head, and I just run with it. And then after that, whatever comes up, you know. But I do want to be more consistent. I will be more consistent on videos. That's for sure. Awesome.
So again, don't forget to put your links in the chat. Also, don't forget this afternoon at 5:00 p.m. every Monday night is Monday Night Fun Night Bingo Night. It's at 5:00 p.m. Eastern. It's free to play, and you win prizes and you can win multiple times, not just once. Basically, you pick 5 numbers out of 1 through 75. You put them in the chat, write them down, and those are your numbers for the night. And we have fun. We don't really talk about anything with eBay or YouTube or anything like that. We just have fun, play bingo. I'll let everybody drop their links at the beginning and at the end only during process of us having a bingo in process. While we're doing a bingo, we do not drop links. Every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern is our Hump Day auction. I do have a 4th co-host now as of this week is Ella. Save here first. All the thumbnails are out, so come out and check it out and support her. I think Anthony will be out of town this week. He may be able to make it. We're not sure, but if not, then we'll still have Ella as our permanent co-host with us every Wednesday. And this Friday is the last week of the month, so I am doing our pop-up auction where I have a lineup of 8 people already. So we'll be seeing how this is going to go with the full panel of 10 this week. This Friday. So come out and check out those who are here. That's going to be here part of that. I try to do it once a month, but it may be that I might be doing it twice a month because we're getting a lot more people that were interested in doing this. I enjoy having those come on to the channel, whether it's in the morning as a guest or even as an auction to help those who want to get their feet wet, so to say. Also, don't forget, if you want to be part of the show in the morning, I am starting the links to my link tree is going to be in the chat right now. I'm going to drop it. I am starting the book and get the September calendar now. So if you want to get with me, send me a message on any of the social media pages on the links I just put in the chat. I would love to have you in the morning show, promote your channels and support you in any way we can. Remembering that no matter how big or small you are in your channel, you can always give advice or ideas and tips and tricks to others who are starting out. And again, remembering that what we do may not be the right way or the wrong way. It's just what we do, and we love to share that with others. So with that being said, like I do before in each and every show, remember that the link is on the top of the chat. You're more than welcome to join us at the end of the show, after the show, to talk to us in the back room. And as I always say before in each and every show, love always. Love is always free. Please be kind to one another until we meet into another chat. Perfect. Have a blessed and fabulous day until we meet again. Later. Peace out.
Bye.